Friday. Let's get some folks up in here. Happy Friday, everybody. Fridays are awesome. Let's keep it moving. Let's sail into the weekend real cool with it. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Let's get it going. And my apologies there. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Intelligence, the darndest thing, huh? Hey, Alchemy, how are you? How are you doing tonight? Hey, Vincent, how are you? Yep. For everybody that's new here on Fridays, 8:30 p.m. EST, you can expect me here talking my talk, all right? 8:30 p.m. EST every Friday, unless stated otherwise, which normally doesn't happen very often. I hope you guys are feeling fine. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Joyce. Hey, Antoine. Hey, Richard. Hey, everybody. Hey, Joey. I hope you guys are all doing fine. I'm feeling pretty good. I have a little bit of a headache. I've been having a headache today, but I'm here, you know? Hey, Cam. Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing tonight? Hope you guys are feeling great. Today, we're going to talk about how your intelligence is a threat. Okay, it's not what you have, it's not what you own, it's not where you've been, it's not where you're going a lot of times, it's simply what you know. That's it. You know, what you know is going to have a lot of people triggered, what you know, and how you come into the knowledge that you have. A lot of people are going to be threatened by the information that you have. When you start sharing it, people start getting annoyed with you. You're going to feel like people are probably trying to quiet you in certain situations. People don't want you to talk, Hi, everybody. Hope you guys are all feeling fine. Intelligence is something that's really interesting topic, right? Because when we think about, one's elevation, one's place in this world, right? I believe we're living on a materialistic planet, like a superficial planet overall, where the glitz and the glamour and what looks nice and what seems nice is what prevails, is what gets pushed out, And so anything that goes against that, sort of, anything that goes against just it's hard to explain, but it's like anytime, there's somebody that's kind of different, or there's groups of people that are kind of different, maybe people who have a lot to say, maybe people who have some interesting information to share. These people tend to be the ones that are shunned and quieted, and people don't want to hear you talk because a lot of times these people know that you have a lot to say. And these people will see that you're not materialistic, you're not into the worldly things like that, you're more into deep concepts, things that they don't really care to understand. It's not to say they just don't get it. A lot of times they could get it if they choose to get it, but they don't want to get it because it's too deep. They have a very safe world around them with all their beautiful things that they love, and their money and everything that they hold dear, which is nothing wrong with that. But what about the people who think deeper, who go deeper? These are the people that they quiet. These are the people that are a threat. Anybody that has intelligence, anybody that has a deeper knowing about various topics are going to be threats in society. You're going to be threats amongst the people that you go around. You're the groups of people that you know. Once people know you know more, deep, you think deeply, they're going to start treating you like an outcast because they feel like they cannot relate to what you know. They can't relate. They can't keep up with you and what you have to offer, what you have to say. So yeah, it gets strange. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, Dwayne, I'm happy that you're here. Hey, everybody. Hey, Josh. Yep. It's the intelligence. You ever have people look at you funny because you're just talking how you talk? Because I have many times before, and it hasn't stopped. It hasn't ceased. It still happens from time to time, where I'll be just talking to some people, just talking some stuff that, there was a conversation I had a while ago at a event, right? And I was just talking about how the double standards in the music industry, like there's double standards. Like sometimes people will say, oh, this is really cool, this is really acceptable, until like somebody else does it, And now it's a problem. Now it's like, nah, that doesn't look right. Like I always feel like, keep the same energy, like why can't they do it too? Why can't they, and it's like people don't like to hear a different perspective. They don't like to hear they think that you think like them. They think that you have the same viewpoints as them. And it's like when you start showing that no, you have a deeper viewpoint in another direction, like these people start getting offended, they start getting quiet, they start getting uh, very reserved when they're around you. You're going to find people being really tight-lipped around you, not because they're not talkative or they're not social. They just don't know how to keep up with you or how to really fit themselves into where your mind rests at, like they don't really know how to keep up. And I realized like I can't have certain conversations with certain people anymore because it's like anytime I talk, these people act like it's a problem. Like they don't want to hear me talk, or they don't want to hear where I'm coming from, or when I have something to say, all of a sudden it gets shut down real quick. If you guys have had that experience where you're just talking like everybody else had a chance to speak, right? Everybody else had a chance to say what they wanted to say. But when you open your mouth and when you say some real stuff, you may be saying some real stuff, like some stuff that people haven't heard yet, or people don't really hear a lot. And it's like, and I know that feeling of being like, why is everybody looking at me like I said something taboo or I'm moving in a taboo way? But what you're saying is probably something that's blatant a lot of times, like things that are just, that's just what it is. What, no one else knows this? And it's like you're going to find yourself heavily shunned, quieted. Even if people don't say nothing to you, you feel like you've been subdued. They're going to make you feel subdued just by their actions and their mannerisms when they're around you. you know you can't say nothing to these people. Some of them will hear where you're coming from, but there's certain people, they're going to be threatened by your intelligence. They're going to be threatened by the fact that you know a lot, you have a lot to say. Maybe they didn't think that you had a lot to say. Maybe they didn't see that in you. Maybe they thought you were somebody who kind of just thought the same way as everybody else. So there was never a reason for you to elaborate or have a different viewpoint until you do. And when you do start talking, when you do start talking about what you know, these people start acting like they don't know you. Like you're an alien to them. They start getting mad at you. They start picking fights with you because why? Because you're smart, because you're intelligent, because you have a different viewpoint. And, it's like now the norm is being scrutinized for being different. Now that's not right. Now you cannot have a different viewpoint. That's wrong. That's looked down upon. And I see that as a ongoing trend, a reoccurring trend. I think it's ridiculous. People should be able to speak their mind. And, if everybody else in the room got to, why can't I? Why can't you? But people are going to make it seem like you speaking your mind is a problem. You're the person that's a problem. Whatever comes out of your mouth is a problem, and it needs to be stopped before you keep going, before you start getting into it. People know you could probably get into it, and it's just kind of funny to me. Mhm. Mhm. Right. Emperor says I call them bots. Right. Mhm. Hey, Street Nasty, I hope you're doing well. Hey, Reality Sir, how are you? Or Reality Seer, I hope I'm saying it right. I don't know if I'm sorry if I'm not ever saying it right. Yeah. Nadia says, those are the people that follow the herd. Absolutely. Yep. Right. Exactly. Trav says, they hate that we are free thinkers. That's all it takes. That's all it takes is for you to not be bound by certain concepts or not bound by certain ideologies. You're open to many different ideas. You're open to many different viewpoints. People don't like that, but it's weird because why do you dislike that? Why can't we just exist and be friends, be favorite cousins again, But when your favorite cousin realizes that you think real deep, now your favorite cuz don't like you no more. Or now the person that you used to ride with all the time at the mall, they don't want to pick up the phone anymore. They don't want to be around you because a lot of times it's like you make these people feel insecure because they feel like they're incompetent beside somebody like you. They feel inadequate next to somebody like you. They feel like they can't have a real conversation. They feel like they can't really, relate to what you have to say. And so it's unfortunate that, you know, you may not judge people based off of where they're from or what they know. And it's like, but when it's the other way around, people are, you know, they don't delay. They will actually judge you from what you know. When they see that you're very different, they'll judge you. And you're thinking, wait, what? Why are they doing this with me? Why are they moving like this with me? And it's like, it's not right. Mm-hmm. It's not right. Nadia says some people are allergic to facts. Right. Emperor says yes because we think outside the box. Absolutely. Yep. Josh says communication is misunderstood when someone says something on what we say. It is most of the time not always them trying to let them know they are heard and how we relate to it. Right. Mm-hmm. Emperor says, I walk away when people don't know how to communicate. I stopped talking to certain people simply because I felt like I was the person that was carrying the conversation, you know? And it's like, I get it. I mean, we can have different interests. We can, why can't we just be, you know? But it's not like that. It's not so simple. It got to a point where you probably realized that you can't just exist. You can't just get down with anybody. It probably came to you somehow, some way. It was revealed to you that no matter how hard you may try, you just can't vibe with everybody. And a lot of times it comes down to what you know. You know, your intelligence speaks volumes, right? People will see that no matter how much they have, they can't top what you've got, you know, and they don't want to try. That's the thing. They don't want to even try to broaden their mind, you know, to really go against the grain. They don't want to try. They'd rather just sit down and sulk about what you know, what who you think you are. But the bottom line is you probably read a lot, you study a lot, you probably know a lot, you gain knowledge. You were a lot of things were revealed to you. And it's probably like something where you just share what you know now to others, not to one up somebody, not to show them up, not to make them feel bad, but simply because you got something to say. What's the problem now when you've got something to say? Everybody else got to say their two piece, right? But when it's you, it's like nobody's like, nope, crickets, no feedback, right? No respect. Everybody's quiet. People are acting like you said something wrong or you did something wrong. You're moving inappropriately. You know, people are going to make you feel like, you know, I've been in those situations where I'm just saying something that's blatant, like that's something that should be common knowledge here. And everybody's looking at me like I said something that I shouldn't say. You know, you don't say that around here, not around these ends, Andrea. You don't say that. You know, you don't say it so strongly either. You know, you don't come across like that. That's not appropriate. And you're thinking to yourself, doesn't everybody know this? Isn't everybody aware of this? You know, like speaking up against things that are obvious, like, why is there nobody here in this department to aid the patrons? You know, you could be working in retail. I used to work in retail. Those are the only jobs that I used to do, you know? And it's like telling the manager there needs to be, you know, an associate here to aid the people who are wandering like lost souls, not knowing where anything is. And the manager is going to get huffy with you and upset. Like, how dare you tell me where associates should be? But it's like, I'm not trying to tell you where they're supposed to be. I'm giving you a very viable suggestion that's going to help the store, that's going to help everybody. But they don't want you to think. They don't want you to say nothing. They want them to be the people who do eventually. It's just kind of weird, you know? And the scenario I just told you guys actually happened when I was working at a department store back in 2016. And it's like, there's nobody here. You know, there's people wandering in the store, lost, confused. They need help. You know, I had to bring it up to the manager because it was happening too frequently. Doesn't everybody see this? Doesn't everybody see this to be a problem? I was the only person it seemed to have brought that up. Or I was the only person who wasn't afraid to bring it up. Maybe other people thought about it, but they never said anything. I'm telling you, like, it just gets kind of weird. You're saying something that's obvious, it's blatant, it's there. Everybody's complaining about it, but you know, people don't want to hear where you're coming from, and they're going to judge you. They're going to treat you differently. Like, oh, who do you think you are telling me about this store that I run? And it's like, hold on, boss. It's not like that. I'm just trying to say something that's real, but they don't care about what's real. They care about what they want to do, what they feel, what feeds their ego, you know? And if you don't feed their ego, if you irritate their ego because you're it's common knowledge. Common sense is not common anymore. We hear that all the time, and I really believe that to be true. People are not using their common sense anymore. So when you start saying things that are common sense, a lot of times it's common sense. You're very smart, but you're saying things that are common sense. People are looking at you like you're from another planet. Like you don't say that here. Don't say that. No, no. Shoulders back, sit up straight. All this conformity, all this Matilda stuff. It's ridiculous. you know? Oh my goodness. It's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah, Shishoy says people love having around but act like I'm not there, right? Yeah, I feel that. Mm-hmm. India, how are you? You said I love this channel because you talk about what not many go through. Yeah, I was speaking to my manager and she turned her head away when I was talking and spoke to and answered another coworker over me. I know what that looks like. I'm telling you, it's so disrespectful because they could probably feel your energy, India, and anybody else here who has experienced this sort of like, being ostracized, blatantly disrespected in front of many people. This has happened to me in the workplace as well. People pretending like they don't see you. Oh, you were here the whole time? You were here? Yeah, you saw me, just like I saw you. And it's like people will pretend like they don't hear you. People will pretend that because you irritate them. And it's the people who they choose over you. These people don't irritate them because these people fall in line. These people are, conformists. They just do what they're told. They don't ask no questions. So anytime you ask a question, it irritates their ego. It irritates their demons. When you bring about a question, a valid question, especially, it's valid. You're not trying to trip. You're not trying to make anybody feel bad. You're asking a viable question, a very good question, trying to get clarification because that's what we ask questions for clarification. And it's like, but when you ask questions, it's like, oh, so who do you think you are to come up against me and ask questions? I'm the boss here. I've been working here for 10 years. I'm your older cousin. How dare you question, who I am, what I do, what I think, how I move. And it's like, I'm not even trying to do that. But it's like these people feel like, because they know you, they know your type. They know that you have a very high vibrating spirit. And it's like anytime if a high vibrating individual has really good questions to ask, it's the culmination of it all just irritates them. It irritates that a smart, witty, intelligent, high vibrating person wants to know something, wants to add something, because probably when you talk with substance. That's the bottom line. And a lot of people, when they don't talk with substance. Forget about it. They talk about things in a way where it's like, this conversation is going nowhere. Can we talk about something else other than Maybelline? That'd be awesome. Because people just don't know how to. People don't know how to talk about things outside of the material world. So it's like, I don't want to talk about Maybelline. I don't want to talk about Eddie Bauer. Let's talk about something else, right? And it's like and people don't know how, or they don't want to. That's not their nature. That's okay. That may not be your nature. That's my nature though. But they can't respect that though. It's like they don't want to respect that you can think outside the box, or you think about different things. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear from you, especially hear from you. It's like these people feel like, it's a problem. Anytime your name gets brought up into certain rooms amongst certain groups of people, it's like you're the aggravator. You may not even be there, but it's like you're aggravating people because people know you're intelligent beyond belief. Your intelligence a lot of times is pretty subtle. It's pretty subtle. You're not out here with a book and with a chalkboard or with a dry erase boards, saying, hey, look at me, I'm Mr. or Mrs. Professor. You don't move like that, but you're subtle with it, where it's like people are like, where is this coming from? How do you know this? Who do you think you are? You shouldn't look like that and be that smart. You shouldn't, have less but be smarter than me who has more than you. That's how they see it. It's a puzzle piece and never fits for them. It never fits. Oh my goodness. Keith said they're gonna stay mad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, reality says our frequency irritates their demons. Absolutely. Yep. Shishoy says copying it looks weird because I know how they act before meeting me, right? Yep. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Trav says they can't stand when other people see your light. It's something to where it's like they know it's not just them. They can see you. The fact that other people see you too is like a bad remake of The Sixth Sense. Like they don't want people to see you. You know, it brings about it brings about chills. These people feel, unnerved when you come around, when you start talking about things that they don't understand how you know, because you shouldn't know. You shouldn't. That's how they see it. You should not know. How do you know? They have more than you. They're older than you, right? They have more degrees than you, right? They should know more than you. But sometimes that's just not how it goes. Sometimes these people, they need to learn from you. They need something from you now. You maybe you never needed them. They hate that. And it's like they're feeling like, wow, like in their minds, you're lower than them and they have more than you, always been successful, always had more money, always had more properties, always had more whips, always had more this, had more that. But they were always lacking. You remind them of that lack. Maybe they lack in love, they lack in authenticity, they lack in being genuine, they lack in heart, they're not humble, they lack in humbleness. And it's like these people, it's like when they see you, it's a reminder that no matter how much they think they have, they're lacking though. And it's something that's really hard for them to swallow, for them to understand, for them to accept. And a lot of times it comes down to your intelligence, because there's a lot of people who are very smart. They go to school, they go to college, they become doctors, lawyers, engineers, extremely successful people in their careers, and they use it for evil. They're not right in their minds. They're really not right. That's the bottom line. They're just not right up here. But they had to be right enough, right? They had to have been right enough to do the work, do the tests, do the practicums, do all that, get the SAT scores, whatever they do the state exams. They had to be right enough to get those credentials awarded. But at the same time, they move weird, because these people, they're lacking. In some way, they are lacking in virtue, lacking in love, lacking in heart. They have a lot of pain inside, a lot of angry tendencies. So when they see you, they see somebody who may not seem accomplished, may not seem like they have everything, but you've got a few things that they wish they had. So it's crazy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Reality says my ex had a master's in education, but I couldn't tell it outside her class. Wow. I feel you. Joyce says they are lacking in intelligence. Yeah, Emperor says copycats, right? Psalm says true, the light brings out the darkness in people. Absolutely. No lie about that at all. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's all about, when it comes to intelligence, intelligence is very vast as well. There is no cap on intelligence. There is no, ceiling on intelligence. And so that's the thing about it as well. When people know that you're the intelligent type, you're the type of person that you know a lot. And it's like, but there's no cap to it. And that's also irritating as well, because people might be thinking, when are you going to stop talking about what you know? When are you going to stop? When does this end? Is this how is this how you're always gonna be? Always talking about what you know, what you think. People want to stifle your opinion. They don't want to hear where you're coming from. And it's like, you're gonna see this most prevalent when you start finding out who you really are, or when you found out who you really were and you realize you had a lot to say, you have a lot to offer, you have a lot to share. you almost feel compelled to share sometimes with certain people, trying to reach out, trying to grab somebody, be like, listen, I got something to tell you. And these people will, pull back, like, what do you mean? Like, why do I gotta listen to you? Because people feel like you're like them and you're not like them. That's the bottom line. You were crafted different. You were made to be different. And so, your intelligence and how you come across with that intelligence is going to be very different. Everything you produce is going to be different. The way you walk is going to be different. The way you talk, the way you hold your head high is going to be different from another person who holds their head high. There's just a unique cadence about you. And a lot of people are just going to feel like, you know what? He's not my cup of tea. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I just don't want to be around this person. But a lot of times, like I said, it simply comes down to what how deep you go into your studies, how invested you are in knowing more, having knowledge. A lot of people are threatened by this. It aggravates them when you know a lot, when you're a person that studies, studious, smart, and it's like you use your smarts in a way that helps to elevate everybody, including yourself. And people just feel like they don't have that skill, they don't have that capability, and it makes them feel inferior to you, incompetent. When they're around you, they cannot talk to you, they will shun you, they'll pretend like they don't hear you, they don't see you, it's a whisper in the wind. Well, was that somebody talking to me? That's how they're going to treat you, right? Because they don't want to admit that somebody who's high vibrating, intelligent, everything that you are, is trying to tell them something. They're like, probably going to be thinking like, what do you want to say to me? Because people are very aggravated by you. Aggravated because you're not like them. You think outside the box, and they can't shake that. They can't take that away from you, right? They could take anything else, right? Take all my material things, but they can't take what's up here. And that's the thing that gets a lot of people triggered. They cannot take what's in your mind. They cannot take, how much you know, the knowledge you hold. They can't strip that from you. And that makes them feel very weak compared to you, And so, yep. They can't take your intelligence away from you. They have to accept that you are very smart. They have to accept that you have a deeper knowing. It's very difficult for them to do that because, someone has a nice car, I can get a nice car. Someone has a nice house, I can get a better crib. This materialistic clout chasing competition is so weak to me. So weak, it's so fruitless, goes nowhere. But they can't replicate what's up here. No, there's no cloning that. And that's why a lot of people trip when they come around you. They cannot get on your level. Like, your frequency is too finely tuned. And a lot of people really feel that when they come around you, they feel, like I said, real small and inadequate, and just feel like, what's the point? What's the point of even trying? And they're going to turn it around like you did something bad to them. You didn't do not a thing. Not a thing. Just being yourself, that's all it takes. And it was a really shocking thing to realize, like, all you got to do is show yourself. Show yourself, be yourself. And you're going to aggravate a lot of people, the majority of people that you come across. People who you don't even know. Going to the grocery store, grab a loaf of bread and some milk. You're going to aggravate the cashier most likely, and they don't know you. And they may never see you again, You may be in another town that is not your town. You're just in the area. And you're, troubling people who don't even know you. Why? Why would that be? Is it because the way you talk? Is it the way that you walk? Is it the way that, you're very polite? They're not used to people like you being polite. I've heard that a lot being said to me. People like you. I'm not used to seeing people like you be like this. But people like what? It should be common courtesy, common decency to be respectful to people that you come across in the community. It shouldn't be like a certain type of person or a certain type of demographic from a certain type of place or a certain type of class. Anybody can be anything. The bottom line is people just, and you confuse people this way because people look at you and be like, that don't make sense. It doesn't make sense how you know what you know. And it triggers them. And they actually think a lot of times that it's a game, that you're putting on some sort of like theatrical performance here. This is how you are, I'd have to explain to people, this is how I am. This is just how I am. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is how I talk. This is how I speak, And people are like, I don't know a lot of people like you. People like you don't act like this. And it's like people where you come from, people don't, you know, people don't act like this. You're a weird one. And I get it. But it's like people just don't want to accept you for who you are a lot of times because of, they feel like you look a certain way, so you shouldn't be this way. But why, what do looks have to do with it? What does where I come from have to do with it either? You know, People think because you come from a maybe like a underprivileged part of your town or underprivileged part of your city, right? Or part of your country, that you should not know this. You should not know anything because where you come from, nobody knows nothing, or where you come from, people know very little. But what if you're not a product of your environment? What if you were just handpicked to be different, handpicked to know more? You just placed in a place, you just live where you live, you grow up where you grow up. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be disadvantaged because of where you come from, right? It was always in you to be better, to be different, no matter which place you live, no matter where you're born, right? In the slums, okay. In the hills, okay. You could be who you are. You could be really, really smart and come from both parallels, and it doesn't really matter. You could be, the shining star in the slums. That's the bottom line. That's the truth. But people don't see that, like, people like you don't know these. People like you can't be that, you know. But that's the thing about it, is like they know that maybe you had a lot of struggle, you came from pain, you came from a place where the odds were against you, and you actually turned out to be super intelligent, hyper intelligent compared to everybody else around there. And people will make it seem like, oh, that's a problem. There's something off with you. You're not really who you say you are, because people around here, they're like that. You're not like them. You're not from there. And it's like people try to discredit your whole life. Your whole life. They will just dissect your whole character, and just judge you based off how you look, how you seem. And it's just disrespect your name. You're not allowed to be smart. You're not allowed to say nothing. Where you come from, people don't talk about this. People don't say this. It's all about conformity. I believe it's just like generational curses, and even where you come from, that everybody just does the same old thing until you come along, right? Until you come along and you change the face of things. But it's like, oh, nah, we don't do that around here, buddy. Take that stuff somewhere else. It's so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful. I find it ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Yep. Which Josh says, with God, nothing is impossible, right? Yep. Mm-hmm. Reality says, I'm an alien in my own family circle. Wow. Yep. Cam says, haters to the max, right? Maximum, right? Yeah. From the heart says, the last shall be the first. And that's where you're at right now. You're at the front right now. You're at the, everything, everything was building up to your future, to the present and to the future. So if you felt like you were always last place or picked last or overlooked, now it's happening to where it's like you're hot right now. That's it. You're hot right now. You're intelligent. You know a lot. Oh, thank you so much, the no. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Crystal says, I'm an alien too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Spitting Image Records says, obtaining a degree doesn't make someone intelligent. Not at all, right? Not at all. Because the thing about it is, like, once again, anybody can get anything, right? Anybody can get a degree. They'll go to school 4 years. They'll do a specialty for the doctors, do the residency 4 years, however long it takes. They become this doctor, and then they're just the most evil doctor on the planet. You know what I mean? And they hate their patients. They hate their work. They're in the line of work only to destroy patients, only to destroy people. Only to abuse their authority as well, to make people, it gets very, very deep, right? And so the thing about it is that they had the smarts to do it, right? I mean, they had enough mental stamina to get it done, but these people are not right in their minds though, right? There was an ulterior motive. There was always a dark part of their mind that was very devious, and, they're not moving right with what they have, this gift they have, this, this trust that they have in the community, these people move weird, right? So of course it's like degrees don't, they're nice, they're awesome, but you got to move right. That's the bottom line. You have to move right. If you're not moving right, that thing is void. That's how I see it. It's void. It doesn't mean anything if you're not going to uphold what you did all this for. Why did you do all this? If not to protect the patients, do honest work, defend the client. It's like, you got to be honest, you got to move right, you got to move real, you can't do it halfway. You got to do the full thing, So it's like, yeah, it's nuts. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people will go to university first, go to college afterwards. You know what I mean? Because they need that practical experience. They need that hands-on experience. And a lot of people will make fun of people. Oh, you went to university. Oh my gosh, And you're in community college now. Oh my god, that's like the fall from grace here. It's like, nah. People do what's best for them. People just hate on anything. I'm telling you, you probably got hated on for just, taking that little step forward in your life. Any little thing that you got, people probably hated on you for it, judged you for it. You can't do that. You can't be that. That's too hard. That's only for men. That's only for women. Only women do that. It's like, but what are they doing though? What are they doing? Take a real good look. What are they doing? And you will surely see that jealousy is really what's going on here. It's all jealousy. It's all projection. They can't do that. They can't do it. That's why they're telling you that you can't do it. It's all projection. Projection is a disease, and it spreads. It's contagious. And people, when they see that you're a type of person who is very, very studious, like very adventurous with your studies, like you're willing to go far, you're pushing the grain, like you're going places where most folks don't really want to go, wouldn't dare to go, right? People are gonna come out of the woodwork and talk about how you're crazy, you're off your rocker for really trying to aim for that high, and it's like, how am I off my rocker? I'm doing my thing. People are gonna hate on you. People are gonna hate because they know that means that you have the wits, you have the intelligence, you have the stamina, the mental stamina, right? People hate on the fact that you're learning more. Watch how people act when they see that you're learning more, you're gaining more, you're studying more. Oh, what are you doing that for? Why are you reading that book? I've dealt with this. And it's like very, but one thing I do to combat this uncomfortableness that comes with that, I just peep what they're doing. I just look at what they're doing and what they're trying to hate on me for. And then I see it all makes sense. It all adds up. Because a lot of people, they will project on you. They know that you're very intelligent. They know that you're going places. They see what you're doing, the ventures that you're seeking. And they feel like, you know what? It's just another reminder of how intelligent and how smart this person really is. You don't stop. You're like the Energizer Bunny. You do not stop. Maybe they were expecting you to stop by now. Maybe they're really shocked because they just didn't think you would ever try hard in life. Some people just maybe thought, oh, you were just going to do like things like everybody else does. Once again, because of where you're from or your family, what they all do or what your friends all do, but you're doing something way different from everybody else. So people will judge you on that and make you feel small for going big. It's sad. It's sad. Hey, Vincent, thank you so very much for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Psalm says, I enjoy your streams. I enjoy all of you guys being here. Thank you so much for the love. I really, really appreciate it. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Hey, Dubs. Yeah, Escapegoat says, money is sadly some people's God. Right. Right. From the Heart says they want you to be mediocre. Absolutely. Yep. Hey, Joe, how are you? Yep. Spitting Image Record says people are comfortable with boxing you in, but they get uncomfortable when they recognize that you think outside of that box. Absolutely. Yep, that's true. And the thing about it is that when you're not in that box, once again, you're a threat. When you have intelligence that goes beyond the confines of that box, that's it. You got a target on your back now, right? People are going to start treating you differently, treating you less than what you know you are. Like when you know you're really smart, people are going to treat you like you're a second-class citizen, like they don't see you, Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Josh says, I love being by myself because there are no distractions when I learn. Yep. Reality says, makes no sense to think outside the matrix. Ethan says, hey, I missed 40 minutes. Hey, no worries. It's all right. Yep. People are going to see that when you cannot be trapped inside that box, you are the ultimate threat. And a lot of times it's going to be like, they're going to reflect back on the fact that you know a lot. And you knew so much that the box couldn't contain you because you were never meant to be contained here. That's what it is. You were never meant to be confined to a box. Maybe you used to be. Maybe you were easily manipulated. That's how I used to be as well. There's no shame in that. Sometimes it takes a long time because you ride for your people. You ride for your people. You want to hear where they're coming from. Maybe they have your best interest at heart. You know how it goes, right? But then eventually you're going to see that these people are probably trying to box you in. Like they're actually moving in a way where they're trying to make it seem like they're worried about you. They're concerned, I don't think you should do this. I'm just coming from a loving place, and all the while they're just threatened by your intelligence. They're threatened because they know that if they let you loose, if they let go of you, that you're going to fly, you're going to take off, you're going to be higher than they've ever been. And they may have 20 years on you. They're worried about that. And that's just what it is. So we got to stay away from these people who try to intimidate us and who also try to undermine our intelligence here, because people who undermine our intelligence are essentially trying to say that, you know what, you have too much of it. Let's chop some of it out. Let's try to make you feel less knowing, less intelligent. Let's try to make you question what you know. And this is why they undermine it. They would never do it if there was never nothing to undermine. They see that it's there. They see that you got it. But it's simply like they want to take it away, but they can't. It's more of getting into your head to make you question your path and to make you question, well, do you really know what you know? How do you know what you know? We're all older than you. You shouldn't know what you know. We should know what you know. And it's like, wait, what? What is this? And it's a backwards world that we live in, right? People hail up the ones who are doing no good, protect the ones who are doing no good, right? We see it all the time. They protect the people who are doing wrong. But the people who are doing right, the people who are going up, the people who are doing great, living virtuous lives, moving right, these are the people they want to quiet. These are the people they start targeting. The people who start talking that real stuff, these are the people they want to quiet. These are the people they want to shun. They want to treat them differently in the worst way possible. What can I say? We got to stay away from these people because these people, we know this is a backwards world. People standing up for the perpetrators and victimizing the victims, like spitting on the victims, spitting on the people who are trying to move up now, who are trying to be better now. It just makes no sense, But a lot of times the world's residents make no sense. And so we have to be the sense. We have to, keep speaking about what we know, keep talking about that real stuff, because eventually you're going to get to the heart of somebody who needs to really hear it, Not everybody's going to hear from you. Not everybody's going to want to hear your thoughts, but just keep being yourself. Be yourself. Thank you, reality. You guys all are blessings here. Yeah, Nadia says they want to target, gaslight, and play mind games. Absolutely. Yep. Spitting Image Records says, unfortunately, when you think outside the box, you are marginalized, ostracized, and institutionalized. However, believe in your power, family. We're almost there. Thank you for that. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, talking about how your intelligence is a threat, and understand that, it's always going to be this way. But you don't have to ever dumb yourself down for anybody. Keep living your best life and talk about what you know. And keep learning, keep studying. Learning never ends. Learning never ends. The moment that you were born, I'm telling you, it never ended. Keep learning, keep growing yourself, because it's just helping you. It's just bolstering up where you're going, and it's a beautiful thing. There's no limit. There's no ceiling. Keep learning, keep growing. Your intelligence may threaten people. Let it threaten them. You can't stop yourself. You can't dumb yourself down because these people are sad about it. These people are upset, angry about it. Let them be angry. They can work on themselves. They can do the work if they want to. You keep going up, okay? For everybody who generously contributed towards the super chats. Thank you very kindly to everybody who was in the chat, leaving a lot of great comments. You guys are always heavily, heavily appreciated. To everybody who was just watching, here on the Mindset Elevator, it's a blessing. All of you guys are awesome. Thank you so very much for the support. I am very thankful. Very, very thankful. Thank you guys so very much. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Go ahead and enjoy your weekend coming up here. And, just keep living your best lives, everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, everybody. Have a great, great night or morning, wherever you're at. And we'll see you soon for sure. Okay, bye, everybody.